Today we are on the last book of our reading of the Hebrew Bible, the book of Malachi. I'm Andrew Whaley. The prophet Malachi spoke during the Persian period, much like Haggai and Zechariah. The prophetic work of Malachi happened probably sometime around the reforms of Ezra to new and right Torah practice in the Holy City, though Malachi comes most likely after the original fervor for that Torah obedience has waned. We don't know anything about the author or the historical circumstances of these particular oracles, but there are many confrontations that have to do with religious practice. There are confrontations about what kind of cultic requirements there are in the temple regarding sacrifice. There's other confrontations about what profanes and defiles a person. And there are these desperate needs for the Levites to please Levites, remain faithful to the ways of God and to the ways of Torah. What's most interesting, though, about Malachi, this last book of the Hebrew Bible, is that there's three possible endings. The first is chapter 4, verses 1 through 3, which has this theme of the day of the Lord. We've heard of that, this day of judgment, when the wicked will perish and the righteous will be rewarded. And it sort of wraps up nicely there that could be the end of the book. But then there's a tag, chapter 4, verse 4. A reminder about the teachings of Moses, the law of God, the Torah, that law given on Mount Sinai. Then there's a second tag that goes on, verses 5 and 6, to talk about Elijah. You remember Elijah who was taken up to heaven in the chariot on fire. There's this word that Elijah will return. Elijah, the one who represents all the work of the prophets. And so it is Malachi, the end of the Hebrew Bible, who brings together the law, Moses, and the prophets, Elijah. Law and the prophets, leaving us with hope that God will somehow restore God's people through the law and the prophets. And so the Hebrew Bible concludes. Law and prophets, and hope for a day when those two come together. Who do you think we might be about to meet?